I want to give you my best tips and tricks for passing your driving theory, specifically motorbike theory. I did mine this morning, and my marks got 49 out of 50 and then 60 out of 75 for the hazard perception. And it's specifically the hazard perception that I want to give you guys tips on, because my scoring here, I got 5 out of 5 points. It's the most you can get for a single hazard on 8 out of the 14. And then I got 1 4 points, 1 3 points, 1 2 points, and 1 1 point. Sorry, and 2 1 points. So I basically got all of them, the best you can, apart from a few where I just missed, or completely got right at the end, because, now here's the key thing, I have been driving for 13 years. So I can see when hazards develop, and I was given this piece of advice when I first booked it in, was saying, do the test as if you are a beginner driver, because you don't see things, beginner drivers don't see things as early as experienced drivers. It's what that experience gives you. And in my practice, using the Gov app, it was like £5, I noticed exactly the same thing. I would see something develop, I'd click it, and it doesn't become a hazard for another 5 or 6 seconds until like the moment someone does something wrong, right? The moment where you're like, now I have to change my speed or direction, that's when it becomes a hazard. And so my biggest tip to make sure that you don't lose out on all of the marks completely is, even when the hazard has developed, click again. So you click when you see the hazard starting, then you click again a second later, and then click again when it's actually like, now you're slowing down, now they're completely in the wrong, then you click again. Because you can keep clicking essentially as much as you want throughout the test, because there potentially are many hazards. There's potentially 2 in one of the clips. And I think I clicked on average maybe 7 times a clip, which is quite a lot when really you only need 1 click. But you're doing it just to be safe, just being like, maybe that was early, so I'm just going to click again just to be safe. And that will help you not get 0 points on any of them. And the worst case thing that happens is, if you click too many times in a rhythmic pattern or just way too many, then you get 0 for that 1 clip, which isn't that big a deal, because now if it happens to you once, okay, you've got 1 0, but like I got 2 once. I'd rather have 1 0 and have the safety net of making sure I actually still get some points if I was too early, than missing out on it at all. And if you click too many times, then you know, and they tell you, now you know how many is too many. But it didn't happen to me. I think I clicked maybe up to 10 times on a video. For the multiple choice part, get the app and just do a load of tests, right? So leading up to this, I did 10 practice tests. I passed every single one first time. My scores weren't getting consistently better. I was just getting over the marks. I wasn't getting full marks. This is my best score yet at 49, and the test in the centre was the hardest one I've ever had. I had about 10 questions where I was like, it's a coin flip between these two, but I'm going to go with the one that I think is most sensible, and ended up being right. Another thing to note was the case study given was much more complex than the ones that they give you in the practice, which it bloody winds me up when tests do this. So my day job is running a maths tutoring company, getting students prepared for their maths GCSE. And where the schooling system goes wrong is not giving them the questions they will be asked in the exam. The same difficulty, the same setup, the same style. And for the most part, these resources do that, but this case study was 3 times more information than you've been given in any of the practice ones, which I think is a bit misleading. But you got all the time in the world. It took me 8 minutes or something to do the thing, and you get an hour. So you're not going to run out of time. Take the time you need. And then I went through, after I finished, I went through and I redid the entire test again, just to be safe. So those are my biggest tips to passing first time. All right, make sure that you are consistently passing, and like, you don't want to have failed any theory test. You'll never feel perfectly ready. I felt nervous being in there. I was like, oh man, this question's so hard, like I don't know. But the trick is you need to be confident on nearly everything. And that's how you can get there. So I'll keep you up to date on how the full A license thing is going. I'm done just over half my training. I've got 3 days left. Mod 1 and Mod 2 coming up, but I'm pretty much ready from my instructor, so we're going to get a big size bike license, which is pretty cool. All right, guys, have a great day. Peace. P.S. One thing to note. If you have your theory test, remember the people taking the theory test are people who cannot drive. So there's no car parking anywhere. I arrived 20 minutes early. I went around and around and around for 20 minutes to find a parking space. I went to a car park and the guy said, no, this is not a public car park, you can't use this. So I ended up parking on a residential street where it's pay and display from 10 a.m. This was 7:30 in the morning. And so I got one of these, which is a rich person can park anywhere ticket. It's an expensive parking ticket that allows you to park anywhere you like, but didn't miss the test, it's worth it. So if you do drive and you're going to take your motorbike theory, there is likely not going to be a car park nearby, so plan for that ahead of time. I didn't, because I thought there'd be one. Like every other public service that there is, there's somewhere to put your car generally, or they tell you if there's not, but they didn't, because obviously most people going don't have a car. So there we go. Now we're done. Peace.